Welcome. Another episode of On the Dotted Line. My name is Deshaun Lyons, and this is
Marquise Taylor.
You already know another episode of On the Dotted Line. I'm just trying to share it right now on the Instagram and on the, on all the platforms. Oh yeah, we're gonna be doing another episode. We're doing another episode about this amazing book. The future is faster than you think. We're gonna be doing part two of it. Well, chapter 2. And chapter 2 is The Jump to Light Speed, Exponential Technologies Part 1. So we're going to be talking about that today. And a little quantum computing and all that good stuff. Let me just posting it right now so people can tap in with us. You feel me? All right.
Quantum computers are fast, man. They are fast.
Let's jump right into it. So, Keith, this episode, this chapter 2, The Jump to Light Speed, Exponential Technologies Part 1. So we're going to talk about quantum computing. What is quantum computing for the people that don't know what it is?
Well, if you know what regular computing is, it's that, just a lot faster. That's all it is.
Right.
Now, quantum computers, instead of using, how regular computers use bits, like regular zeros and ones and stuff, quantum computers actually use something called qubits. And what that is instead of computing in just zeros and ones, they compute in 0 and 1s at the same time.
Wow.
If that makes sense. Yeah, so you get
that's why it's faster, right? Because it's using it at the same time, 0 and 1s. Wow.
Problem solving a lot faster. Way faster.
So talking about this chapter, can I see it right here? It says whole a what and what? In classical computing, a bit is a tiny chunk of binary information, either a 1 or a 0. A qubit is the newer version of this idea, or a quantum bit. Unlike binary bits, which are in either or scenario, qubits utilize superposition, which allows them to be in multiple states at once. Oh, okay. So that's why it makes it faster, because it's 1 and 0 at the same time. 0 and 1 at the same time. So what are the things in this chapter that you found unique about quantum computing?
Well, one of the things that I found interesting, it actually really isn't really too related to it. I don't know. I was thinking Moore's law. But
we'll get to that.
Yeah. Mostly it's just I'm fascinated by the speed, because it's like just certain pieces of information that you could put in, certain things that it would take a normal computer, I don't know, maybe a few hours to compute. Like, you put that same piece of information in the quantum computer and you're getting that back probably in minutes or seconds, depending on what it is. So yeah, I'm just fascinated with the speed more than anything. I
wonder what that would do with society, since we're leaning towards this particular technology that's making everything faster. Is that going to be a good thing in society or a bad thing, or even both?
You said it, both. It's going to be a good thing, because things are going to be a lot more convenient. As we all know, people love convenience.
Oh,
but
yes.
At the same time, I think it's just going to bring about more laziness with us as humans, because like even with, and this is probably way off base, but some stuff like online shopping and stuff, like we're just so used to the convenience of it. It's like, I don't have to go to the store. I could just press a few buttons, click something, and boom, it'll be at my house in a day or two. I don't have to go outside.
And especially not good for this country, because we got the most obesity. We got the highest obesity rate in the world is America. So if everything is coming to us like a microwave, coming quick, and we could get things like that, and we don't necessarily need to go anywhere, that's going to affect our health. That's going to affect our health big time, because and we had a taste of that during the pandemic. The pandemic, when we really couldn't go anywhere, but we have all these things that was that that was delivered to us, like whether it's DoorDash, because they got these delivery hubs now, and they now I see them starting to like, let's keep this, because I know some places like downtown Newark, Burger King, they was accepting customers to go and eat in the dining room, but now they just said, squeeze that. We just gonna turn this to a straight delivery hub, meaning that you just get your food and then you dip. And I could see that becoming big now in the industries, and you see like DoorDash, everybody's getting food. You said the online shopping, you don't necessarily need to go to the grocery stores. Amazon, since they made that deal with Whole Foods, now you can get your food just straightly sent to you, and I'm seeing more and more people doing that. And also some people still scared of the pandemic, so they find it very convenient, they find it very safe to just say, let me just still stay home. I don't really need to go anywhere, because everything's gonna get delivered to me. And also
Exactly.
the job industry. You don't necessarily need to go anywhere because everything is mostly remote, even though things start to go back to normal. But we got a little taste of that, as far as conveniency. We had a taste of that last year, heavy last year. And now it seems like certain industries and certain companies, they said, we could just keep this going. We could keep this going. And the more technology keeps getting faster and faster, and quantum computing takes over, we're going to start to see things a lot quicker, and I know later on the chapter that we're going to have to do a part 2 of this, but the next episode, they talk about 5G, because 5G, it's making it even faster, making our phones even faster and faster and faster, to the point that it's not going to be buffering. It's going to be absolutely no buffering. So they try to make everything just super speed. That's what it says. Exponential technologies, is getting faster and faster. So yeah, man, it's I definitely see it. And the question that you said both. I would say it's not good for us. Well, balance is always everything. You don't necessarily want things to be 100% on the right side or 100% on the left side. You need that balance, because balance is good for us. But I just feel like us as a human and living in this country, I think we'll be a slave to it. We'll become super duper reliant, because we see it. Because me working in the airport, people don't even follow simple directions anymore. They don't look at signs, and they're not what you call, they're not, yeah, what's the word for somebody that's always relying on somebody?
Oh, they're what are you looking for? Dependent?
Yeah, they super they're dependent on other people to show them the way. And you see it with in the airport, you're doing security, there's a sign that says exit or go this way, and they say, how do I leave, but the exit sign is right in front of them. So they're they're so dependent on people to show them how to do things. They lost track of following simple directions and just reading and observing, and just following that. So the more we be so reliant on these technologies that's super convenient, the more I'm gonna just flat out say it, the dumber we gonna be, because they're smarter. That's what they call it, smartphones and smart TVs and all of this.
People don't even use them though. Just like you said, and I'm talking from experience with this. Is the same thing that that you was talking about. People, they rather ask you than to do this. Pick up the phone, type in the directions, see where they are. Oh, it's X amount of meters away. Oh, it's around the corner. People don't even do that
It's crazy.
anymore.
It's
That's why
crazy.
we're gonna need those neural networks, huh?
Yep, you're gonna definitely need those neural networks, and it's gonna and they trying to come up with technologies that that's gonna make you smarter so you can be compatible with an AI, because the AI is just super duper efficient and smart. So they're trying to make us more compatible with an AI, which is also in this chapter. We might not get to that part when we talk about robotics and artificial intelligence, but we may. But since we're talking about industry, how quantum computing is getting faster and faster and things is being more convenient, they have something very, very interesting. Oh, before we get that, what's Moore's law? Because I didn't want to gloss over that part, because I see Moore's law in this chapter.
Oh, Moore's law.
Yeah,
Hold up. Moore's law is pretty much the theory that every 2 years transistors are going to get smaller. So a transistor is, I wrote notes. A transistor is a semiconductor device used to amplify or switch electronic signals and electrical power. So pretty much those are some of the things.
Break it down to like break that down to like people that's like in third grade. Like, please simplify that.
All right, pretty much it's a device that you would put on. If you ever seen a computer chip, you see those little things on it, like those little well, the colors vary,
Yeah,
but it could be black, whatever.
black,
So
gray.
those are little transistors. The more you can fit on a chip, pretty much the better the technology is going to be. The
Okay.
faster things, things would be better with those transistors. So every 2 years, those transistors have been getting smaller. So now you can fit more on a chip, meaning you got
Right.
more. Right. Now it's faster. You can do more with it. So the theory behind Moore's law is that that's what it is. But eventually, that law is going to be null and void. This is how people are thinking. It's going to be null and void because there is a limit to how small you can physically make something. So I forget the exact measurement of like the smallest transistor, but there's going to come a point in time where you literally just can't physically make it any smaller to fit on the chip. So
is it kind of like you remember PlayStation? They had the small memory card, and then slowly but surely that went away, and it's just memory is built in to the actual game. So you no longer need that memory card. So is it kind of like that? Like it's getting smaller and smaller, but is giving you more memories. Is that
exactly
okay?
That's why these things started to get smaller.
Yeah.
They're able to fit more up there. So that's all it really is. We'll see though. We'll see if when exactly Moore's law is going to come to an end. That's one of the big things amongst scientists. I am not a scientist or into quantum physics or mechanics. I'm not that guy. I just find it interesting. So yeah, that's Moore's law for you.
And it makes sense too that things are getting smaller, because like I said, the industry, as far as like I was saying before, these technologies is getting faster. These technologies is getting smaller, but it's coming with more computer power. It's coming with more memory. Smartphones getting faster. Smartphones are getting smaller. We went from a telephone that you can't carry this. I hope you can see it. You can't carry this. Hope you can see it. You can't carry this. It's a telephone. But now it got smaller to it became mobile. And now, and this have so much memory, it's a lot faster, it's more efficient. So we seeing how it's changing. So now, since you talked about that, we have something called we introduced the 6 Ds of exponentials. All right, I believe that's page 31.
Yep.
So they're talking about digitalization. So once a technology, so digitalization, once a technology becomes digital, meaning once you can translate it into the ones and zeros of binary code, it jumps on the back of Moore's law and begins accelerating exponentially. Soon, with quantum, this will be on the backs of Rolle's law and even a wider ride. I wonder what was Rolle's law. I didn't look that up. It sounds familiar though when I was reading that part.
Oh, I got you. We gonna pull that up too.
Hey, hold on 1 second. 1 second.
OMG. OMG, people. Yeah, this stuff is interesting, man. I know for the super geeks out there, D-Wave is one of the companies that actually have quantum computers. If I'm not mistaken, they're developing the quantum computers. It's a company called D-Wave.
I gotta look at that. I gotta post it on here. So basically, digitalization, everything is being digitalized. How we like it or not, technology is heavy influence with everyday life. So everything's gonna be digital. Our currency is gonna probably end up being digital. We have cryptocurrencies out there. We have art being digital. You know, everything's run under code. Since me being a coder, everything is being in code. That's why they said binary code, ones and zeros. That's what it really comes to. NumPy arrays. Shout out to the Python session, but yeah, everything is being digital. You remember like the Polaroid cameras. Now photos is being taken like is really digital to the point that soon it's going to be hologram. And
soon
or right now, that's happening now, huh? So
it is.
So basically, digitalization is explaining how everything is going to be digital, and this is an industry that they're leaning towards. And it's gonna, and this part of this episode, as we talking about jumping light speed, when everything is digitalized, it's going to be a lot quicker because it's run under code. It's going to be more efficient, and this is going to change the industry. That's why when we talk about the 6 Ds of exponentials, it's talking about how these things is faster, efficient, and it's going to change the industry. So,
I got Rolle's law for you.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, Rolle's law. The number qubits double every year with exponential growth of computing power in quantum computers. So, it's almost the same thing as Moore's law in terms of things doubling. So,
the sister.
I don't know who Rolle's is. I'm gonna be honest. That's the first time I heard of Rolle's law. I've heard of Moore's law, but I never heard of Rolle's law.
Right. All right. So with the second D's, Kobe said digitalization. Now the second D is called deception. Exponential typically generate a lot of hype when first introduced because early progress is slow. When plotted on a curve, the first few doubles are all below 1.0. These technologies spend a long time failing to live up to the hype. Think about the initial days of Bitcoin. Back then, most people thought crypto was a novelty toy for Uber geeks or a way to buy illegal drugs online. Today, it's reinvention of our financial market. This is a classic example of the deceptive phase. So everybody really know what deception is, pretty much. But in this type of situation with jump speed, at first people looked at, like they said, people looked at cryptocurrency like, what is this? This is a joke. Who's behind it? And nobody understanding how the transactions work. And it was Bitcoin was just like what? It was like 5 cents. It wasn't even, it had really no value or nothing until until it started to get more hype because it started to generate more money and more people started to want to invest in, more people was interested in what this is, because they start to see more people become millionaires, more people start to focus their energy. And then now you see, now as far as crypto, now everybody talking about it. Everybody talking about Bitcoin, Dogecoin, because Bitcoin became the godfather of cryptocurrency. So it ended up getting the hype. It end up getting the hype because of how many people made money off of it. Because it was as low as probably 5 cents. Now it's a little it's what is it? It's at 50,000 right now. It's at 50,000. So the hype, the deception of it changed over time because more people started to see people making money, and then that's how the hype changed on it. And that's what we see all the time. We saw it with it was a lot of trying to a perfect example. Well, the hype of some of these mobile game apps like Pokemon Go, that it one day it just started to take over. It started to take over. Everybody was in Pokemon Go. I know Marquise was in there, and everybody was on there. And yeah, it's a lot of things like this. When it gets the attention, it gets the hype, but people have a certain deception about it. Like, I don't know about this. This ain't gonna work. But all it needs is a little bit of hype. It could change everything. It would it'll change the whole deception about the whole thing. So
Yep.
and so
it definitely caught everybody off guard.
It did. It did. All right. So the third one. So the third D, because we just talked about deception, is disruption. Now, this is the most important one. I want everybody to listen. This is what happens when exponential really start to impact the world. When they begin disrupting existing products, service, markets, and industries. An example is 3D printing, a single exponential technology that threatens the entire 10 trillion manufacturing sector. All right.
Amazon.
What else?
Just Amazon. They took over everything.
But let me read that part again. An example is 3D printing, a single exponential technology that threatens the entire 10 trillion manufacturing sector. So 3D printing is I want everybody to look this up. Crazy technology. I'm going to share my screen. These 3D printings is not only printing products, it's not only printing printing like actual like objects, it's printing houses.
I knew you was going there. I remember that.
Houses. So I'm gonna share my screen. Hold up, Keith. Let me pull that up. Yeah, that blew me away when I saw that 3D printing house. I'm gonna just show y'all so y'all can be like, yo, printing house, yeah. And it's very disruptive, Let me see. I want to just like, all right. This is so I could show this. I'll probably show it for the beginning. Hold up, 1 second.
I'm Nick Nimmin, and I'm a StreamYard user.
StreamYard user.
See how the algorithms work? All right, hold up. Let me see. All right, let me share my screen. Share my screen. Did I share? Share screen. Windows, YouTube. Okay. You see anything yet?
Yep.
All right.
God, I'm tired.
All right, let me go back there. Oh damn, what do I do? All right, let me go back to that screen and full screen it.
The idea of 3D printing our buildings is nothing new. Faced with a desperate need to construct more homes faster and in a more efficient way, countless innovators have found themselves drawn by the idea of being able to quickly print a structure and have spent years trying to scale the technology. But for all their efforts, that 3D printed world has proven elusive, and many impressive prototypes have struggled to become viable for mass production. But things have just taken a massive step forward in Germany with the completion of the first ever 3D printed home to become fully certified under a national government's building regulations. The impact of this moment for construction and for the buildings we all use could be huge.
Yep. I'm gonna stop it there. Let me see.
3D printed houses.
Yes, sir. Hold up.
That is scary.
All right. So the reason why I post that, the reason why I showed y'all the 3D printing houses is the fact that that's gonna change the industry as far as ain't gonna be no constructions pretty much. More and more jobs is going to shrink because these disruptive technology, innovative technology is going to change the industry of that particular market. That's why when it says this is what happened when exponential really start to impact the world when they begin disrupting existing products, service markets, and industry. So these technologies is going to change the whole market. It's going to change the industry, and that's why we're talking about jumping to light speed. It's the fact that everything becomes more efficient, everything is quicker, but more and more people start to lose work because now everything is run under machinery and these unique technologies. So when this becomes when they have a bunch of 3D printing houses, like if it become like global, it's ball game. More and more people will lose work. And like you said, Amazon's the perfect example of being disruption. It's a perfect example. It eliminated these physical retail stores like
Yep.
Sears. Sears is finished. I have put the numbers how Sears was on top of their game in the early night. Well, Sears been out for such a long time. But it hit their stride about the late 80s, 90s. It made their most money, make their most revenue ever in that time in 2000s. But once like towards the end of 2000, like about 2010, it started to decline. Once Amazon started to build their business, their online business, and then it was over. Bankruptcy, and that's a disruptive industry. It changes the whole market to the point that people rather shop online than actually go to the store because it changed. It changed everything. It changed, and we could talk about products. Like Keith, what product pretty much changed like the whole industry? Like if you know.
You said a product?
Yeah, a particular product. I could say a particular product, something that we use. It could be like it's cell phones. Nobody have like you remember payphones? Payphones like
What's that?
What is that? Payphones or regular telephone, everything is mobile phone. Or let's say CDs,
Oh, yeah.
It went from tapes, cassette tapes. No. First, it went from records, vinyl records. Then that shrank into cassette tapes, cassette tapes, and
8-track.
Yeah,
You got 8-track, then tapes.
Yeah, and then you had went to cassette tapes, and they was using the Walkmans. I remember that. I'm a little old now. Damn, people know how old I am. So you had the Walkman, you had the cassette tapes. I remember you guys to record your favorite songs. You had to go on the radio station and wait till they play that song, and then you put record on the boombox. So we had the cassette tapes, and the cassette tapes transition into the CDs. Now this is all disruptive. This is all disruption. Completely disrupting existing products. And then the CDs was big for a while, and to the point that CDs went to MP3s, and CDs were fighting. And that's how music artists was making their money. Having these CDs and selling these CDs. So it went from MP3s now to streaming. Now it went to streaming. So now artists get their money. It's not about physical hard copies anymore. It's about streaming. So digital. Now, it's digital. We talked about digitalization. So it changed. The industry changed. The product changed. And that's how this disruption means. It changes the industry, products, the market, and it impacts the world, and that's why this is this is one of the most powerful what they said D's out there. So what you think about, is there anything else that's that you think is disruptive, like disrupting the market or something that changed?
Oh, well, it hasn't done it completely yet, and I'm pretty sure we went over this already, but cryptocurrency.
Oh, yes.
That's about to be very disruptive once it gets pushed through.
Yep. And the reason why, it haven't been pushed through, because the banks can't regulate it. They got to figure out how they can regulate it, because regulation, they need to figure out how they're going to tax it. And, they can't control it, because crypto is pretty much run by the people. The people give it value, the more and more people invest in crypto, that's how it increases in value. So, and it's backed by the people. It's a people currency. The dollar is backed by nothing. It's fiat currency. It's not backed by anything, So, you're right about that. Crypto is going to be very disruptive. Keith, you want to read the final three?
Oh, yeah. I'll go into it. What is this? The fourth one? Yep.
Yeah.
Demonetization.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Demonetization, where a product or a service once had a cost, now money vanishes from the equation. Photographs were once expensive.
Yep.
You took limited numbers of pictures. God, me and my reading. You took limited numbers of pictures, because film and developing that film cost a lot of money. But once photos became digital, those costs vanished.
Yep.
Now you take photos without even thinking of them. And the difficulty comes in sorting through too many options.
So now what this explained, the perfect example is, like they said, the photo industry. That that explains everything, because Instagram pretty much, it's a social media. It pretty much changed the whole industry when it comes to having like a camera now. That industry is done, and whatever, Polaroid cameras is pretty much done. They still got cameras out there, the photographers take, but you don't necessarily need like to take pictures. You don't need you got your. Every phone got a camera now, so it's like it's not going yet, but it's gonna. The more we keep going in society, the more we're gonna have phones that's gonna be better than like these $1,000 cameras. We're gonna have phones eventually that's gonna be better like that, because what's this, the S11 or S10. It got 3 cameras. It takes a lot of stuff. And now we got these we got the neural networks that's making these we got these neural networks that's making these cameras like so unique, and take all these different versions of pictures and filters and stuff like that. So eventually it's gonna pretty much be vanished. I'm trying to figure out something else that will eventually vanish. Well, beepers completely vanish because the fact that we got text message. Because you remember beepers, it's like somebody typed a beeper like 111, and you like, oh, I gotta go. Don't have that anymore. That's gone. That's gone. It once was something big. Rappers had it. Rappers always had. You remember the baggy jeans, the Pelly jeans? Rappers had it. They was promoting the hell out of beepers. Now beepers don't exist anymore because we had cell phones. We had the two-way. We had the sidekicks, and people. That's how they could contact people.
Sidekick.
Yeah, you remember the sidekicks, right? How they contact people.
Mm-hmm.
So those were existing products that's gone. We already talked about CDs. Those were existing products that's gone. They're not even there anymore because everything is streamed now. MP3 is really not a thing anymore. To be real with you, it's streaming. You on a platform, it's streaming, and that end up being the monetization, demonetizing these products that once was something is completely going. It's going to keep doing that. It's going to keep going. We're going to see more and more products that's going to just keep disappearing because of everything is changing. Everything's changing. Is there anything else? Like what other product that changed? I'm trying to think.
That lost its value?
That lost value completely.
I don't know why I can't think of anything. It's like I'm brain dead.
And it completely lost its value. I'm not saying that taking pictures using like the Polaroid camera. Well, nobody uses Polaroid camera to take a picture. That's done. That's done. You better have a official camera, or your cell phone could take a way better picture. So. But yeah, I really can't think of one now. But yeah, where we at now? Oh, yeah, you can read the next one.
I jump to the next. I'm not going to say that because it sounds wild, but I'll jump to the next word.
Oh,
I was going to say I'll just jump to the next letter, but I'm not going to say it. That would have sounded wild. But dematerialization. Okay. Now you see it, now you don't. This is when the products themselves disappear. That's pretty much what we were just talking about. Cameras, stereos, video game consoles, TVs, GPS systems, calculators, paper, matchmaking as we knew it, etc. These once independent products are now standard fare on the smartphone. Very true. Wikipedia dematerialized the encyclopedia. iTunes dematerialized the music store, etc. Oh, Virgin Megastore doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Right. And
that was big in New York.
FYE?
FYE is fried up. I used to love going to FYE.
Yeah, you used to always go there, to buy like the albums and CDs and stuff. They still have it, but it's really fighting for its life right now. I be seeing it just. The store gets smaller and smaller with the things they have. Like they selling, earphones and things like that. Like they're fighting for their life. Another thing, like we said, people don't use the encyclopedia anymore. You have Wikipedia online. You want everything. Everything you want to find. Google really destroyed that. You remember the yellow pages. That's done. That's completely done. And for the people that's super duper young out there that's gonna watch this, we had something called the yellow pages. That's how we find like certain restaurants. That's how we find
phone numbers.
We found phone numbers to business. That's how we find everything. That was our main source. That's gone. maps, physical maps. What is that? We don't use that because you remember when you driving, like back then you was driving, you actually have a map to find to navigate to your destination if it's somewhere far. So you can imagine that. Like imagine how they get to Atlantic City. They have to actually use a map. And they have to actually I remember what was it? It was I think it was like 2000. It might have been 2002. It might have been 2002. I went to Dorney Park with my cousins, and the internet was still lit back then because they had the AIM chat rooms and stuff like that. So they used to print out directions online and take the directions to go to Dorney Park. So it says go to this exit, this exit, because GPS wasn't invented yet, or they had it, but the wealthy people have that. That particular technology is accessible to them, but a regular person don't have that. So you have to actually print the directions, and somebody got to read it, and while the other person is driving. So I remember that. So you see how that's no longer that disappearing because we have mobile devices with with the navigation system. So it shows us where we need to go. What else they have? Cell phones with brick size instruments. Oh man, it went cell phones. You remember it's the cell phones with the antennas? Oh, I just showed you this one. No, who use this anymore?
Businesses, that's it. This old cell phones look like this. You used to be on the phone like this. I'm not even joking. They was really this big.
It was the
crazy.
And you remember they had the cordless phones. It just looked extremely big.
And doofy.
Yes, it looked a bad weird. So these products, so it's just basically dematerialization. Basically, is explaining how these products disappeared. Now you see it, now you don't see it no more. Like we was talking about with the beepers and iTunes, dematerialized the music store. iTunes really started that, and then it jumped to something big. And yeah, this is crazy. And they talk about with stereos, they got small little Bluetooths that just sound louder than the actual like big time stereo. So basically all these things sound similar to, that's what they call it, the 6 Ds of exponential technologies. The last one, you don't have to read all of it because this is a lot. This is a lot. Yes, you can read the last one. You don't need to read the whole thing. But I see quantum. You just read it to the
democratization.
Yes,
that's a mouthful. This is when an exponential scales and goes wide. Cell phones were once brick-sized instruments available only to a wealthy few. Today, almost everyone has one, making it nearly impossible to find anyone in the world who's untouched by this technology.
So basically, what this is talking about is the fact that the selected few, like the rich, they're not the only ones that can get this technology. Sooner or later, everybody's gonna get it. Everybody's gonna get it. So you remember, like the celebrities, they had those big behind phones first, yep. and then once everybody was able to afford it because the price, because it was on the market for a while, and then the price started to get lower. Everybody eventually started to have it. Same thing with the sidekicks. You saw like different music videos with the sidekicks, and that's how they market things too, so people can buy it. But for everybody eventually is going to get it. So once they start to market these technology or these gadgets, it starts and then the rich have it first. The people that have the money, they have it first, but then everybody starts to get it, and we see that more and more, even more now, like, because before it took us a while for us to get something like that. Now is they able to give it to everybody. Like Elon Musk, he said he wants to make Tesla cars affordable for everybody to get it because of the fact that it's not run by gas and it's gonna is the cars is it's gonna, as far as the 2030 agenda, everything going green, everything going clean, they're not trying to destroy the atmosphere of the earth. He want to make it, so everybody can get it. So that's what it's talking about as far as the last day, that everybody is going to be able to be, everybody else going to be able to get it, So, and it says about blockchain as well, because blockchain, this particular technology don't have anybody running it except for you. You control of your currency because it's under a blockchain and it's decentralized, so it's no third party. So that's going to be accessible for everybody. Everybody can be able to trade with each other. Everybody can be able to communicate through the blockchain. And this I could definitely see it because I see right here says so what does this mean for quantum computing? Well, in light of this growth cycle, a user-friendly interface is what bridges the gap between the technology deceptive and disruptive phase. Consider the internet. In 1993, Mark Anderson designed the first user-friendly interface for the internet, what became the Netscape browser. Before he did, there were 26 websites online. A few years later, there were hundreds of thousands. A few years after that, millions. This is the real power of user-friendly interface. It democratized technology by allowing non-experts to play. We just saying that. An interface allows the technology to scale and fast. Thus, the fact that 1.5 million programs have been run on, Rigelis Forest, its user-friendly interface to the quantum world tells us the radical change and right around the corner. So like even Steve Jobs said, he wanted everybody to get an iPhone. He wanted everybody to get that. So the more and more things get faster, and the more and more technology becomes more efficient, the more and more it's going to be in the hands of everybody,
But that's going to be interesting for quantum computing because those things are very expensive to make and run pretty much. And they have to be kept in special conditions. And then going back to that Rose Law thing, the lady Rose, what's her name? Jordi? Is that the guy name? Oh, it's a guy name. My bad, dog. Jordan Rose is the former CEO of D-Wave Systems. D-Wave Systems, going back to what I said, that's pretty much involved in quantum computing.
Okay.
Because they have a quantum computer. So I don't know how they're going to mainstream that because you have to keep that in a very cold environment. So I don't know if they're going to have special centers people could go to, or if people buy it, they got to have certain freezers or something in their house. But you got to keep them damn things cold.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure they'll figure out a way because they know. Well, yeah, that's a good point because it is cost efficient for them to be able to use that particular technology and for it to be accessible to everybody else. How would quantum computing be implemented in this? So yeah, that's a good point. So before we wrap this up, because we're gonna do part two. They're gonna talk about artificial intelligence, go talk about networks, go talk about 5G and satellites, we're gonna talk about sensors, and robotics.
And Shao Ice again.
That's chapter 3. Huh?
I said, and Shao Ice again.
Oh yeah, I see it. Was it Shy Ice?
Shao Ice.
Shy Ice. Oh yeah. The date and the digital
Chatbot.
horde. Well, it is a digital whore. um, but yeah, so those are the 6 Ds that people should know and people should be aware of. And this book is awesome because you learning about these technologies that's going to could change your life, so you could be more prepared, and you can also benefit from it because it could be probably something you want to invest in. So yeah, it's scary, interesting at the same time. Yeah, just take this episode as a great source for you to be able to be prepared and understand that you got to be able to adjust with the time because this is going to happen and it's getting faster and faster. It says light speed for a reason. They're trying to hurry up with all these different technologies because they only got less than 10 years to be able to um, be fully invested in all these technologies, so they can be in this whole digital world. Because that's why the first D that they had was digitalization. They want everything to be digitized, everything to be run on binary code. So yeah, you got to be prepared. So Keith, any I guess give a final thought of this episode and this chapter.
Man, listen. The only thing I got to say is like how they say it in church: get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. That's all I got to say, man. But nah. What I will say is if anybody finds any of this stuff even remotely interesting, like I have, I would really recommend checking out just things about like quantum computers. It's just interesting stuff. Like you don't have to become a scholar, but it's just interesting stuff with the way they work and how they're using it and what they're gonna be using it for. So I say just look into it, and also definitely pick up the book. If you
Oh
can,
yes.
pick up the book.
Oh yeah.
Go grab the book.
Pick up the let me put the book up. So you want to pick up this book. This book is amazing. It gets better and better. I'm still not done yet. I'm on, let me what chapter I'm on. Dynamic risk finance.
Ooh,
The future
I
of
just
insurance.
went past that.
I'm on the future insurance, and when we get to that part of it, man, you're gonna see how crazy that chapter is about crowd insurance. So that's going to be interesting. But please follow us on the dotted line 18. And you can check out this episode. Please like and share this video so they can get to everybody and everybody can be prepared. Everybody can get this information and all that good stuff. We're gonna wrap up this live stream. Hope everybody enjoy it. My name is Deshaun Lyons, and this is
Marquise Taylor.
Peace out. I wish we had like some intro music or something.